Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's the Face Value Podcast. We on episode 155. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Saint Icky, a.k.a. Ickabod Krane. You already know my name. Sitting here with my best friends in the world, my favorite day of the week. I got Natty Jackson, this motherfucking. Natty Jacks. Kurt the King in this bitch, for real.
Sir.
We got a very special guest in here, yo. We got Sosofromthego in this motherfucker today.
Hi.
Incredible artist right here in Chicago. If y'all don't know, tap in with her music.
We really appreciate you taking time to come kick it with us.
Thank you. You know, I've never done this before.
Nice.
For real?
Yeah.
That like being a motherfucker behind the mic a lot, you know, it should come natural to you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I like talking to people.
It's weird because artists are two ways. They either get on here and they start over talking me and shit.
Oh.
Or they just be silent for real.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be silent. I don't know. I want to listen. I want to be attentive, but I'm also like, I hope I don't sound like a fucking idiot.
No,
You're not gonna sound like an idiot.
You know, I'll tell you if you start doing
Thank
that.
you. Respectfully.
You got a sign.
Jimmy's got the sign on deck.
Mad obvious sign.
No, what's funny is that like we've actually done that before for real, and I was like, cut it. I was like, I gotta cut it right now.
Dang.
That was probably when it was just us, though. Was it?
Nah, it was when we had Shorty. I ain't gonna say her name.
Dang.
Oh, that shit was trash,
Shade. Y'all didn't release it, right?
Nah.
No, we did.
Oh, word.
We did.
Oh, yeah, I said don't put it out. You put it at the end of the
I had to
episode.
put it out. Yeah, because she was trying to comfort me. I had to. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get. Before we get into the just talking to you, chopping it up, on all the socials, is it Sosofromthego?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Yeah, follow her on all that. Instagram. Is there anything else besides Instagram anymore?
I mean, I have a Twitter, but
you be getting your shit off on there?
not really. I'm like randomly allergic to everything, so I like to keep a counter. So every time I have an allergic reaction, I put it on Twitter.
Facts. Facts, yo.
I think I'm at like,
It's like a little medical journal.
yeah. You
But
know, people
public.
can get to know
Yeah.
me better.
That way when they meet you, they know what not to bring around you and shit. Like
Yeah.
chocolate, nuts.
Your rider. That's your rider.
Hell yeah.
What not to bring.
Triggered.
No, I feel you. But like I said, like Soso's an amazing singer. I got up on her music from Jorge. Jorge put a song, and like I listened.
Shout
I'm
out to
like,
Jorge.
yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, this shit go crazy for real. So, let's start off with your origin story. Like, how'd you start making music and shit? Where you from and all of that shit?
Well, I was born in LA, and then I moved out to the suburbs of Illinois. That was
Which one?
trash. St. Charles.
Oh, true. I got some people in St. Charles for real.
Trash. Then first day of high school, I moved out to Chicago, and blessed. That completely changed my life. It was amazing. But I didn't start making music till I moved out of my parents' house, and I was like 19. I always did spoken word poetry, but I didn't know you could like turn that into song.
Yeah, yo.
And then I saw somebody do it, and I was like, oh shit, it's possible. And then I just started writing music. I got in the studio with Ksenia at Music Garage, and
True.
she's like the best engineer in the city.
Hell yeah.
Bro, she works so fast. She's like, just like quick, to the point. She's so sweet. She got a dog. I'm like, it's perfect.
That's sick, yo.
We've had that conversation so many times on here with people, rappers, singers, how much poetry translates, or the written word translates to music. A lot of people started out just writing, then
Yeah.
realized you can really just turn that into songs.
Yeah,
You just need to
just-
find a melody behind it.
The melody and the structure of the words, you know what I mean?
I really wish that I had went that way, because I used to like watching Def Poetry Jam. I used to love
yeah.
that shit for real, and it always seemed like something I could never do. You know what I'm saying? And then like once I started like rapping and like actually like writing raps and shit, I was like, oh, it's pretty much the same thing for real.
Yeah.
But
It's literally the same thing. You literally just put it in the song.
But I feel like your confidence level got to be at a certain level to do it without no beat. Because like when I be rapping, like it be a lot of I just like let the like ride off of what the beat doing. Like just the being up there a cappella like freaks me the fuck out for real.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I used to do poetry, and once I saw Kanye on Def Poetry Jam, it inspired me to start rapping.
Yeah, I mean, just people like Mos Def and shit. That's like a perfect example.
How'd you get into that?
Poetry? Mm-hmm. Oh, I always did it since I was like a small kid. I used to write stories all the time. I'd win poetry competitions. I don't really know why I started writing poetry. I just know I knew that it felt right, and I knew that I had shit to say that I couldn't really express any other way. So poetry was just a really good way to do it, and you can swear in poetry and it's artistic.
Yeah, facts. I guess like when I was learning about poetry like in school, I kind of like just thought it had to be in like one of the set poetry styles. Like it's
like
gotta,
a soliloquy.
Yeah, like it's gotta be haiku or
haiku,
some shit, or a fucking limerick and shit. It like I don't know. It never really clicked with me like that until I could tell you exactly like when I like associated poetry with hip hop was when we were learning about what's it called when you say like the same type of word over alliteration. We was learning about alliteration in school, and it was like right when Ludacris had dropped Red Light District, and he has Blueberry Yum Yum, and I'm like, this is what Ludacris is doing. It is so for real.
Well, if you think about those poetry styles, they're really just cadences.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a rap cadence or any kind of vocal cadence. It's just a pattern that you follow. Like for like melody, it's really just the same shit. Because poetry, as much as there's no beat behind it, it's still like pretty melodic if you really think about it. The way you say it in your head and the way it flows out forms like a melody, basically. Yeah. And that's what draws people into it. So just to circle back really quick, what prompted the move from LA to Illinois?
Oh, my dad was in the FBI. So
that's sick.
So we had to move, and we had to be within.
That's crazy.
That's
yeah,
wild.
we had to be in a certain state, and then when we went to the city, we had to be within city limits for him to work downtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not what I was expecting.
Yeah. I did not expect you to say that at all.
Really?
I mean, not all FBI jobs are secret agent jobs and shit. Bro.
Oh no, for real? No, like I have no idea what he was doing to this day.
Oh yeah, then he might be a secret agent.
Nate's thinking about Men in Black. He's like, does he got that thing?
The pen, the jewels.
He might as well have, because like sometimes he'd leave on business trips and he'd be gone for a long time, and then he'd come back. I used to have nightmares. I'm like, my dad's out there fighting bad guys. I'm like, oh no, he was never like, he was always in a desk. He's
I mean, to your knowledge, you've been espionage and shit.
I wouldn't know.
but like, so when did you ever like perform your poetry? Did you start doing that first?
I wanted to do that stuff. Like I was a part of, like I went to like YCA shit. I wanted to do like Louder Than a Bomb, but I went to an all-girls Catholic high school with a graduating class of 50.
Damn.
We didn't have a team. We
Y'all
couldn't
all
afford a
homies.
team. Yeah, they were like, hey guys, you can have as many clubs as you want as long as you run it. So it was just like, there was no way we was going to be able to get in there. But shit.
Was it hard to find your voice after you wanted to like transition from poetry to singing?
I think it was hard to formulate what I wanted to say. Okay. Nowadays, I write really reflective music, and I only write after I've been through something, or like I really want to heal some part of myself. I think the first time I wrote a song, I didn't really know what to say, so I just wrote like a stupid ass love song, and it's still.
I feel like that's like the best approach for any artist. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's why a lot of the best artists take so long to drop. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, you can make 1,000 fucking love songs, but like it's gonna cut through differently if you're actually going through something, or you know, or learn something from something you went through already. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you write from that kind of inner place and inner voice, how does that come back when you perform those songs live later on?
Well, I just had a performance at Cafe Mustache, and I was able to perform some like really deep cuts of my songs, and they were about anything like loss, addiction, just like struggling with myself, like with a relationship with my mom. And performing those live, I found myself like really connecting with the songs and like seeing people actually like resonate with what I was trying to say,
Yeah.
that was way harder than I thought that would be.
On an emotional level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, 100%.
I usually like totally disassociate and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, these are just my songs.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But it's
And
like
then
actual cathartic. It's actually catharsis. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like when you do that.
You know what's
people- sorry.
and not to cut you off. You know what's crazy is that when you write songs from that perspective, you don't really know that for some people that maybe don't have access or can't financially afford it, that becomes therapy for certain people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of not it's like anyone's going to go through the exact same thing, but a lot of situations have similarities. And music can really help people out that don't have access to, because there's so much emphasis on mental health now,
Yeah.
but not everyone has direct access to that kind of shit
No.
where they can just go get help, go talk to someone. So for some people, music is that therapy that they get.
Yeah, yo, you took that right out of my mouth, Kurt. That's literally what I was trying to say for real. Is that like we talk about that all the whenever we have like artists that like write real songs and shit. Like we always talk about that music being like a therapy. Like it's things that I didn't know about myself that I learned. I taught
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
from writing the songs, just trying to like even find a word to like rhyme with something. I'm like, oh, that's actually what I'm feeling.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree. When people ask me like the reason that I make music, my only goal is to make the music that I needed when I was younger. That's my only goal, because growing up in that trash suburb with those trash people, shout out to the people who weren't trash, the two of you. But I needed music that I could connect to, that I could relate to, and I'm making it now.
Yeah, before you started being able to do it on your own or took it into your own hands to make music, who were some of the artists or what music were you playing then?
Oh my God, Pink.
Ah, shit. I
Yeah.
fuck with
Fucking
Pink,
Pink,
yo. I
man.
fuck with
Yo.
it. We often forget about Pink. Like in the mass, like Pink was huge for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pink probably still is huge for real. We just don't know. You know
I think she's
what
just laying low. Isn't she married to like some motocross dude or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She had a kid.
Yeah, she's just
and the
chilling.
kid can sing.
Oh,
Good.
right?
Crazy. Crazy. But yeah, I used to listen to Pink. I used to be really into indie music. I like Bon Iver.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. My dad really loves old school R&B, so I'd listen to a lot of Luther Vandross and like the Isley Brothers. So I know like all that music by heart.
God, I
But,
love the Isley Brothers.
Bro.
It's nuts.
bro, I can't even sing Contagious anymore.
I know. It's fuck. I'm
one
still
of the
sing
best
it.
songs
Fuck
ever
it,
made.
So I'll sing it alone, but like, damn.
Fuck it. I'll sing it.
Some of
man.
the
Look,
some of the
man.
catalog we lost is so sad. It's like,
Look, man. The nigga locked up, bro. I can sing the songs for real. I listened to Trap to the Closet yesterday. I ain't gonna lie to
Oh
y'all.
my God.
I had, because I was with somebody that had never heard of it. And I was like, you
Okay,
never heard of that shit before?
Did you make them watch all of it?
No, yeah, no.
Who has that kind of time? yo?
No, like,
you gotta take time off of work.
Let me
and shit.
plug my boy. If y'all ain't seen the Prim's Hood Cinema on YouTube, please go watch the Prim's Hood
yeah.
Cinemas. He watches all like the hood like movies and he does his own commentary over it, and it's funny as hell. And he had one of R. Kelly, and like I was with somebody yesterday, and they're like, I've never heard this shit. But I was like, you never seen this? Had to run it for real. But yeah, shout out Contagious. That's a hit. I'll still sing it. He locked away. They did their job for real. He got
Wait, what happened?
He got 30. They hit him with a 30 piece. It's over with.
Yeah. I saw this fake article that said he escaped underground.
Okay.
He's like boys with Chapo all of a sudden. He's like, yo, where's that tunnel? He's like, that's in Mexico. He's like, you can't use that tunnel.
So back to the topic, yo. How long has it been since you've been making music?
Since 2019, I'd say.
Okay.
But I've remade my EP like 3 times.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that for real.
It's just
I'm
sad.
already knowing. So like I was gonna say, so in 2019, like is that when you linked up with your engineer?
Yeah, Ksenia, she was the first person I went to. I still go to her to this day. It's I think that was just crazy. I'd never been in a studio before. I never recorded any music, and then I went in and I was like, nah, this shit is tight.
Yeah, cause it's two different types of like artists. There's ones that like record themselves, and there's ones that get engineers and shit
Oh,
that
yeah,
go
yeah.
to the studio and shit. So like you went straight to the studio, you skipped that whole part.
I skipped that whole process.
See, the thing is, you can do that because you probably had a book of rhymes already. Like,
I mean, yeah, I had like 4 songs ready to record.
Oh, sick.
But
That's
after
the best
that,
way to do that shit.
I feel like that's the
God.
difference. The difference is that like motherfuckers that record themselves at home don't have nothing right now, and you gotta like figure it out by yourself. You know what I'm saying? But if you already got your bars, like you can step in and let somebody produce you into a song.
Oh, absolutely. And now,
Oh, like make the beat around the lyrics, you mean?
oh yeah, that's
Okay.
actually the best way
Yeah?
to like make a song.
Really?
Or even now, I record at home because Fable, I live with Fable. He's an engineer.
Yeah,
as well.
shout out Fable. I fuck with his music
Bro.
too. I fuck with his music heavy for real. I seen him hella times before. I ain't never met him before, but I
Bro.
know exactly who he is.
His album is absolutely crazy.
Tell him to come fuck with us too, yo. I want to talk to that nigga.
You need to talk to him. He produces, he engineers, he can mix, he can play a handful of instruments.
Sick.
He's like one of the best networkers that I know, and he just has a really like genuine appreciation for music, and he produces all of my music.
Sick.
Yeah.
See, that was the next question I was gonna ask about your production and shit. But that's dope that you live with the nigga. So like,
Bro, it's easy. It's so easy. Yeah, no, but for real, like he's my best friend. So even if we didn't, we'd still always cook up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Is it the kind of friendship where you guys are so close that if something isn't blending perfectly creatively, you can both speak up and be like,
Oh,
nah,
absolutely.
this ain't it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He'll,
Oh, you're locked in.
bro.
Hell
No,
yeah.
he can't lie.
Yeah.
He'd just be like this. No,
Yeah.
like he'll try. Like I'm sensitive, so he'd be like, but like he appreciates honesty over anything else, and I think a lot of his friends and my friends are like that as well. Like if we think you're trash, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
how did you meet him for real?
Oh man, I think I met him through like mutual friends, but I had known of him because I used to always go to the Corner series in Hyde Park, and he performed a lot there. So, and now most of my friends, that's where they all are too.
Hell yeah, because that's rare when you got somebody that you could lock in with that's willing to like show you the ropes. You know what I'm saying? And like build around you type shit.
Oh, most definitely. Like he taught me like how to maneuver, and I really appreciate that because as a Black woman in the music industry, it's been really rough for me. And so before I met him, I used to get into a lot of situations that just like really fucked me over and that really hurt my feelings and that made me want to stop. And he just gave me advice that was like, don't like, fuck, it's your shit. Like no one can step over you. And he's like, no one's gonna do that. And he literally built a community around me. Like I got called, I was at fucking Cole's, and there was a show, and somebody got up on the stage. He was drunk as fuck. He called me a bitch, and literally, I had like 8 niggas who was like, "I'm finna end your life,
For real.
Fade time.
bruh." And I definitely wouldn't have had that if it wasn't for Fable and introducing me
Damn,
to
that's,
his whole community.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the weird thing about music is that not everyone, so many people are in love with it and it moves so many people's lives, but the behind the scenes of making music is pretty ass. Like all the politics behind it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the greatest like artists you'll never hear about because they didn't want to play any games and shit.
Yeah.
And those are the people that don't really win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody, if you're from like, especially like a major metropolis city, you'll know about these people that never blow and like they were so talented, but they just didn't want to play all the like silly ass games,
Yeah.
meet the right
Yeah.
people, be super nice to someone they don't really know like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
it's a weird like politics situation. Like, why do I have to treat this person so special when I don't know them?
Yeah.
It's not organic at all.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got to be like real cool with this person just because they can put me in a position where really it's not fully based off talent at all. It's based off a lot of politicking.
And like you were saying, that's why I fuck with niggas that's trying to build their own shit. Like you were saying, build some shit like from the ground up. But that's my own shit that I don't have to subscribe to all of the bullshit
Yeah.
that be going on.
You don't gotta do all the dapping and all the fake compliments and fake friendships.
Yeah,
Just
like, I totally
do it on your own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but and then go back to the question like, what you doing it for? That's what I always say. Like, you go back to what you doing it for. Like some niggas is doing it for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think the most important thing whenever I make a new relationship with somebody is that can I be your friend? Like, can I go out to lunch with you? Can we talk about something that isn't music? Because I'm really not down to make any connection that is for clout, that is just so I can use you, because you can feel that shit. Like, I know when people are just trying to use me. So many people use me just to talk to Fable. And I'm like, for real, Fable?
Yeah, yo.
I'm just like, he's just a person. I'm just a person. You're just a person. And at the end of the day, if we can't be friends, I'm not fucking with you.
Yeah,
Hell
for real.
Good.
So you was talking about your EP that you didn't done over 3 times. So
Yeah.
like, how's that going, y'all? You got any plan? Like, do you have a date or anything like to drop it?
Well, it is done. It's been done for just a really long time. I wanted to drop it in August, but that was before I knew that I was going to be in the Silver Room block party. And I was like, damn, maybe I should drop it closer to that, so that way if people hear me, they can find my music and not be in this weird limbo, because people's attention spans are so short. So it's just like, I'm trying to figure.
I feel you. I feel you. You got you got some great songs out right now. You were just showing us that video with you and Fable. That shit nice.
Sure
So sick.
Yeah, Irv did that so crazy. I never did a music video either, and I was like, wow, this is like really different than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Y'all snapped.
Dang.
Hell yeah. It's hard to find people that can really get across what you want to do and not charge you $5,000 for the video.
Arm and a leg and my kidney.
Yeah, yo.
Kidney too.
Yo, I had a homie that did a video for my boy. He did like some cool like stop motion animation and shit with it. So I'm like, yo, link me with Buddy, like see what's good. Nigga hit me back. He was like, yeah, we could do some for like 15 bands. I'm like, nigga.
15.
I was like, do you see my Instagram, bro? Like, that's insulting that you even asked me for that shit, bro. You also, you want me to buy you a car?
15 bands is
do you see anything that make you think I got 15 bands for a music
I
video?
wish I had
Yeah,
15.
that's wild. It's like, I'll get you 15 pair of Vans.
Oh,
15 bands.
What, you want, some old school, some slip? Like, I know I got some Uprise plug. We can get this.
That's funny as hell, yo.
If it was like in your control, would you rather have someone hear your music recorded first or live first?
Oh, shit. Oh, that's a really good question, because I do this thing where I won't listen to an artist's music before I see them live. And I see them live, and then I listen to their music, and it makes me appreciate their recorded shit like so much more. I probably say see me live first. Yeah, because I think there's an energy that I can have you feel, and then when you go back and listen to the song recorded, you can like tap in.
Oh, they understand it, I guess.
Yeah.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, we was talking about that on either the podcast before last or the last one or whatever. But we was talking about like, I was saying that like it's motherfuckers I seen like, and I heard their music and I didn't even fuck with it, but I seen them live and that like made me fuck with them.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So yeah, I could definitely see that, especially with your music too, for real, because it's like going into it, like it's only so much that you can like get from a recording. You know what I'm saying? And like you like you were saying, you everything is super personal to you, and you feel emotions and shit while you were like when you performing, and that make the motherfucker tap into you more. You feel
Hell
me?
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an energy about it. And I mean, you're in a blessed situation too, where you have a really great voice, and that's going to draw people in right away. You know, it's different than if you, and not to like put it like throw like rappers under the bus, but sometimes you might want to hear a recorded rap song before you hear that shit live, because it'd be sounding like hot garbage.
That's really true.
You know what I mean? Because it's just different. You
That's
know?
definitely different with rap.
And
dude.
it catches people off guard when people can really sing for real. You don't be expecting that. Like these days, you don't go to a show expecting that somebody really know how to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be at a show, and if you hear someone really start to give it up vocally, you'll be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Your attention will divert to that person. You'll be like, all right, shit, they're like actually singing. Because right now, I mean, there's so much shit where you can build filters into mics and everything. I mean, there's a lot of convoluted shit going on where like the thing is, But the first time I saw T-Pain's Tiny Desk, I was like, oh my God, he can actually fucking
Yes. I
sing.
was just talking about that. That shit's crazy.
That shit is so fire, dude.
Yeah, I was like 5 years ago, and this girl was like, I didn't even know what Tiny Desk was. She's like, have you seen T-Pain's Tiny Desk? And I was like, nah. She's like, you gotta watch it. And we're just like laying there watching it, and I was like, this motherfucker can sing so well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, this is better than the auto-tune shit.
Yes.
You should have just gave it to him raw.
Rapper turned singer, man.
Jesus.
That's a rapper turned singer. He wasn't playing.
It was really just he loved driving the trap.
Yeah.
That's what he was going for with all that shit.
I've always said that like Future should fuck the game up and just drop a no auto tune record.
Just rap.
Just rap. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think Future's doing just fine the way he's doing. His formula's all right.
No, he doesn't.
We'll skip over Future because we had the conversation earlier. SoSo's not the biggest fan of Future.
Oh, for real?
No, it's really. I literally just don't know what he's saying. Like when I said that, I'm straight facts. Like
don't wanna know what he's
processing
saying.
words is really hard, and Future makes it harder.
Very difficult.
That's why they added the feature on Apple Music so you can see the lyrics.
Oh no!
Don't do that.
No. Actually, bro, that is actually the greatest feature.
Oh, that feature's
It's
fire.
so
Exists.
fucking fire.
I want to understand what you're actually saying, and the fact that I can have lyrics. Like, first of all,
The
Yeah, dude.
latest part about that shit is that like you can select a line and just send it to your homie
yo,
for
you
real.
can tweet it.
You can like send the line and then click on it and it'll start right at that line for real.
It's tight.
It's like a whole new way to throw shade and shit real quick.
It's tight because I'm really into like metal and like punk and stuff like that. So when I see these bands at these shows, I can like really give it up when I see them. 'Cause I know exactly what the fuck they're
Hell
saying.
yeah.
The singer's like, I don't even know this shit. He's
Yeah.
Bruh.
giving these words up. Before we get to super off of it, there's something I wanted to ask you. So it seems like you've had poetry in your life and you moved on to music, and to be able to get like certain emotions out and work through things. What is something you would say to someone that doesn't have those kind of creative things to maneuver through just the emotions we feel as humans and the ups and downs?
Man, I'd say to just breathe. And I feel like a lot of people are afraid to feel things, and they want to cover it up with anything that like drowns out what you're actually feeling. And if you could just take time to really feel your body, put both of your feet on the ground, you're going to be okay, because you will be way better off than someone who doesn't know what they're feeling, that just keeps running. Because if you can understand yourself, you can adapt. If you don't understand yourself, you're just going to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what it is that for the longest time, it was like a very minority of people that would let themselves feel their emotions. And now a lot more people are letting that happen, and they
Yeah.
don't know what to do with it.
No.
So they're like, what the fuck is this? And they just don't know what to do with all that. And it probably feels like built up weird energy to them because they've never like dealt with it before. So it probably just feels like this ball of energy they don't know what to do with. Because now it's talked about so much more. And I think a lot of people are really trying to tap into their emotions, but they're just like, fuck, what do I do with this? Yeah. Because it's overwhelming when you start to really feel your feels.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been pushing shit down for so long. When they let it out, it's like...
I mean, thank God, though, we're better than our parents, because my parents are older. My parents are in their like 70s, 60s, and they don't want to feel anything. They don't want to recognize. They don't want to admit or like be seen as weak. I love my parents, but that is a fact about their generation.
Relatable.
And we're halfway there. Okay, so yeah, we feel everything and we feel crazy and we don't know where to put it, and the world is literally batshit, but at least we're halfway there.
Yeah, because the thing is, when you finally recognize it and start to feel it, you understand where to put it and what to do with it. The worst thing ever is when you're moving through that phase where you don't want to own it. And that's when like the word is, it's overused as fuck to me, but like toxic, that's when you're doing the toxic ass shit, is when you have these feels and you don't know where to put them, and you're just moving like out of sorts. But when you start to at least own it, like, I guess a good example is, I've pretty much always been a very fucking selfish person. And I used to not want to like own it and be like, oh no, like, and just kind of like disassociate that. And I would do like kind of fucked up shit. But once I started to be like, okay, I am like that, and started to learn how to deal with that, things got a lot better. Because you're actually owning it, and you don't need to like start to prove or subconsciously try to prove to yourself like, I'm not that, or You're not hiding from your own shit. You're just like facing it head on. So you start to just move about it differently.
Yeah, you're keeping yourself in like the same pocket. You're not growing. You're not learning. You know what I mean?
I remember
looking in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
I remember telling you, like, when I was going through some shit with my life and shit, I remember telling Kurt, I was just like, I just realized, now I'm starting to realize that everything that ever happened to me is my fault. Like, you can't blame nothing on nobody else. Only thing you can say is like some shit happened to me that was out of my control, and how did I handle it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, once you start to like know yourself, just like what you were saying, which I love what you said, like once you start understanding yourself, you be like, oh, when this shit happened to me, I feel this way, so let me do this. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta know how you react, because like you can't control the shit that like how you feel in the inside. When something happened to you, you can't control the way that you feel, and like how you feel is not invalid. You know what I'm saying?
When you give yourself better options, it opens your world up. Like, let's say you react a horrible way, you just reduce the amount of options you have by half, because
and all the work that you've done to be a better person.
When you can control the way you react to situations, you can basically control the choices that you have. Not the specifics, but at least you give yourself better ones.
It's like a broad spectrum. I feel like when you're super reactive, then you end up having to be super reflective. You know, versus if you just took a second to be like, how do I really want to process this, and then move? Because we're always forced to make such split decisions. And most of the time you need a second to process some shit. Most of the time the split decision isn't going to be the best decision. And that's what leads you to reflecting on so much shit, is because you had to decide quickly before you were able to process all the information. It's just like if you had to make like a financial decision, they don't be like, make it right now. You know, you get to look at the numbers and shit and be like, hey, I'm going to go this way. But a lot of times with like relationship shit, whether it's romantic, friendship, or just like life choices, you have to make them in the moment. And it's really easy to make a poor choice in a split moment, like split decision moment. It's like, fuck, I had no time to think about it. I just went this way. You know what I mean? Like,
and then like once you start knowing yourself, you be like, oh, if this happened, I already know how I'm going to act.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I already know how I'm going to feel if this happened. I already know. Because like, you know what I'm saying? And like, and then like, Or
you can like, once you know more about yourself, you're able to create the boundary to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna make this decision right now.
100%.
I'm gonna give it some time.
But it is hard when you go in the mental back and forth. You know what I mean? Like,
well, your mind it can be your worst enemy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Your mind is a fucking dangerous place to be sometimes, just depending on what's going on in your life. But to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, I think as the generations go on, it's getting better and better. Because you're taught at a younger age to deal with the shit, versus back in the day at a younger age you were taught to just don't even worry about it. You'll be good. You'll be good. You know, when you're younger, all you got told is like, you'll be good. You'll be good. What does that mean? You'll be. I'm not good right now.
It's like I don't know. Like, it's like, I feel like there has to be consequences for things that happen to you. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to put the blame on yourself. Any consequence that happens because you made that shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be having friends and shit that like blame everybody else for their shit. You feel me? And it's just like, I understand like you can't control the situations that you put in, but you can control how you react to those situations.
Maybe there's a middle ground though.
I think that's what I'm trying to kind of say. Like,
because obviously everything can't be your fault, but I think as you get to know yourself more and become more aware, you get better at subconsciously putting yourself in better situations. So you're not around a bunch of people that were probably doing some shit that wasn't the best for you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you draw back from it, it's your fault because you put yourself in that situation.
I mean, you got
what happened to me? That's how I be looking. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be looking at shit. But on that note, though, we finna play a new song. For the break song. It's what's it called, Letter to My Younger Self. Is that it? You want to give us a little backstory behind this shit? Is there any story? Because I haven't heard it yet. So.
Well, this was one of the earlier songs that I wrote, and it's self-explanatory. It's literally a letter to my younger self, trying to be like, hey, I know like shit is really fucked up, but like I promise you it's gonna be okay, and like this is why.
Hell yeah.
Great concept.
This is gonna be on the EP. Cool. Yeah, so SoSo with the letter to my youngest self.
Skirt.
I see you, baby girl. I know you wanna hide away. Deep down inside, you got a lot of shit to say. See you holding back, I see you trying not to break. See you feeling things that you wish you could change. Stuck up in your room, tried to ask for help. They couldn't find no reasons for your poor mental health. I guess there's just no remedy, it's all up in your head. Know that you be thinking it'd be better if you're dead, but I know you didn't think that you'd make it this far. I know you didn't think you'd be right where you are. Yes, I know. I know you didn't think about loving yourself, but I can promise you that's what actually helps. 'Cause I finally feel the wind in my face. I finally feel everything falling into place. I was so lost and confused and abused and ashamed, but I can no longer let trauma cause this pain. I was isolated, my choices hated. Gave up all my dreams 'cause I was never motivated. Thought that being alone would spark some inspiration, but I was hella lonely, I felt like I was sedated. Steady looked for love, all the wrong places. Kept on getting stuck, bad situations, a cycle up and up. Miscommunications, I fell into the drugs. Thought I needed a vacation, but I needed my own savior. I didn't know I could create her. I didn't know I was created. I just need to trust my angels, figuring it out. My walls are breaking down. If I don't got my own love, what the fuck I'm giving out? It's all about my journey, and I'm strict about my peace. If you fucking with my vision, then you not fucking with me. I know you didn't think that you'd make it this far. I know you didn't think you'd be right where you are. Yes, I know. I know you didn't think about loving yourself, but I can promise you that's what actually helped.
Yeah, so that was SoSo with the letter to my youngest self off the new EP with the unknown date.
Yeah, but the EP is called The Downs.
The Downs.
Yeah.
That's something I want to listen to. Yeah, I'm into that name.
Hell yeah.
Melancholy King.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. If there, without I guess giving too much, if you could kind of give us a synopsis of what to expect from the EP.
I think I expect something from the listeners. I expect you to be open. I expect you to be like ready to receive, ready to listen to the shit that you don't want to hear, because I talk about addiction. I talk about the relationship I had with my mom. I talk about loss a lot, loss of myself, loss of things in me, loss of things that I can't control. And I really want anybody who listens to it to just be open to that. Because if you're not open, don't listen to my music. Because it's not for people to just like, oh my God, this is like, it sounds so cool. Mm-hmm. Like, no, like I strictly make healing music. If it's not healing to me, it'll be healing to somebody else. And I don't want to be elevator music.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. That's not to cut you off, bro. But like, that's a great thing. It's just like knowing your audience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because like, a lot of motherfuckers don't know who they want to listen to their music. They think that everybody supposed to relate to their music, but like you really got to go out your way to find the people that connect to your shit. You feel me? And like I think it's dope that you were making, like you said it earlier, that you making music for people that you wish that you had when you was younger.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Like when you writing songs, is that like you got to know who you making this song for.
Yeah.
You feel me? Do you feel like how do you like connect to people, or like how do you what's the word? I guess what I'm trying to say is like how do you target an audience? You feel me?
That's been the struggle. I feel like it's hard. You can't just ask people like, hey, y'all want to feel something? Like, especially because with the scene I'm in, everybody around me is a rapper. Everybody around me can be played at a party. My music can't be played, like, okay, it can, but it can't be played. I don't want it to be played at a party. I don't want it to be some background music that you just like vibe into. I want you to be driving down Lakeshore Drive alone in your car that you have 1 gallon of gas in, and I want you to feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think in an instance like yours, it's not about targeting people. It's about people finding you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to find that type of music if you're looking for it. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Because shit like that is going to spread by word of mouth. Somebody's going to hear that likes, you know, that type of music, that vibe, and tell people about it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, cool. Because like you said, it is for a particular feeling and moment in time. So, yeah, it's not like going to be, you can target those people. You can't target people that want to feel feels.
I guess I said the wrong word with target. It's just like, because like with the internet and shit, like
Hopefully
people
suggested.
because like with the internet and shit, how like music is so quickly consumed, like you not gonna, like people not gonna find your shit. Like you almost have to like put it in front of their face and like hope that they relate to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to try to like figure out how to get your music in those spaces. You know what I'm saying?
And the people that really relate to it will filter through. You know what I mean?
I totally
And you'll get
agree.
what you want. You know what I mean?
My favorite artist is Bonnie Vare, and how I found him is I was cat sitting for my neighbors, and they had his For Emma album on vinyl, and I just put that on and I heard it and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yo.
What is this?
No, he different. Bon Iver is different for real.
Different.
Like I got into him because like actually his brother used to be like my manager, like our manager for a second.
Really?
Yeah. Shout out Nate, man. That's the homie, not you, the Nate Vernon. But I was just blown away because he was like the first person I really seen using vocoders and shit like he do and like creating textures with his voice.
Yeah.
And that shit blows me out the water for real. Like I love that. I live for that shit. It's like try to make my voice into an instrument.
Yeah.
It's honestly beautiful. People who can especially like layer their voice like that to make something completely new. Like Fable will do that. He'll be in the living room, and I hear each individual take. Each individual trash. Like I'm like, what is this? I'm literally annoyed. The sounds that he's making. He puts it all together. What?
Yeah, yo.
It's beautiful. It's like something I've never heard before. Bonnie Vare does that shit, and it's just like woods.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
remember-
like Fleet Foxes is super good about that too.
Yeah.
Well, those-
Man, shout out to Fleet Foxes.
Yeah,
I remember
those
we-
create a whole ass vibe with everything, and like his vocals are part of the sonics. It just all vibes together to create like an emotion.
Hey Kurt, do you remember like when we first started the podcast when Justin Timberlake dropped the Man in the Woods and shit, and we were like, he should have went the Bon Iver route. Try to do this shit.
That Man in the Woods is hot ass. That shit was so good.
Not warm ass.
Yeah. You just said something else that brought something to my mind. It's like, as a new artist, like you were just saying how Fable like be recording and like it'll be trash until you layer it up and shit like that. Like I feel like when like, a lot of new artists first start recording, like they get nervous because like people can't hear the music while they recording and shit.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
Is that a thing that you struggle with?
Yes. Like, I hate recording my music in front of other people. I'm not the type to like, oh, hey, I'm going to the studio. Like, don't come with me. Stay home.
No, you don't. So you don't be having 50 people in the studio with bottles and shit?
No.
Blowing blunts?
No, absolutely not. I've got colored like lights, and I've got my cats, and I got my living room. And then when I'm really ready to like master that shit, I go to Ksenia for an hour and I'm out.
Yeah, like I'm the same way, yo. Like I do not like recording or like if I don't already have the bars ready, like I do not want to like formulate them in front of you because I sound crazy for real. Like I really have to be comfortable around you in order to like try to do some new shit in the studio around you for real. Like that's why I do my shit at the crib for real because like I don't like that shit at all.
I definitely agree. There are some people though.
I don't understand.
It was like the first one time my first time in like the real studio. Like I went to Classic one time and I thought it was
been to Classic.
And I thought I was finna throw a party in that bitch. I told everybody to come. Really the only people that came was him and his girlfriend.
Yikes.
And I thought that we was gonna be turning it up and I was like, nah, they can't hear me sounding crazy.
I had a
in here.
bottle though. I was sitting there talking to Nate. I was like, this shit kind of boring, bro. We should still
Oh my God, Classic is really nice.
I was like, there ain't nothing
It
like
is.
Meek Mill sessions. I've seen them on Instagram.
No, but like I
Where's
respect
the loud?
I respect people that could go in there and like do that in front of people, but I can't, yo.
No, alone I do like 80 takes. Like I don't want anybody seeing how critical I am of myself. Because there will be people who will be like, no man, keep that take, but you don't connect with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to hear your input. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't even really like fucking with an engineer I don't know like that
Yeah.
for real.
I think most people form like such a good bond with their engineer.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think a lot of people are out here like super switching up engineers. Like, yeah, you're good.
It's
Nah,
like a
but-
barber.
No, but it's niggas that do that, like niggas that like travel and shit. Like they just book a session somewhere and they have a random
No.
engineer come in. Like
Yeah, but I'm sure those sessions turn out a lot differently than when they're with their people.
and the label paying for them sessions, so they'll be giving them.
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
good on that. Unless I have label money.
Yeah. Is that a thing that you would do? Is that a goal of yours
A
at all?
label?
Yeah. Would you want to do that?
I really value the people who lifted me up. So if I'm up and everybody around me isn't, I'm not up because they helped me get there. If the label finna be like, hey, I'll give you money, go book this like really fire hot engineer, I'll be like, you take that money and you give it to my engineer because this is the person I trust. And
Facts.
if you don't want that, you don't want me.
Facts.
Like
Facts.
straight, like period. No, like if you liked my music, there's a reason that you liked my music.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how fire somebody is if somebody else shares your vision. If somebody else is really on the same path as you,
Right.
like creative-wise, you're going to create a better product than somebody that's just really, really good at engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, there's a lot of great people that know how to make a song sound good.
Yeah.
But if someone's on the same like creative lane as you, creative path, you're going to make the best end product.
Yeah.
And that's what you really need to be focused on. Not like they engineered for this dude. Okay, like maybe that's not my sound, and maybe that doesn't mean they're gonna make
exactly.
the best
Who the
thing
fuck
for
is
me.
this dude?
Yeah,
Dude,
because
like-
like when I first started making music, like that was my goal. Like I was like, I want to get signed and shit. Until I really realized that like what it was. Till I started meeting niggas that was signed and like
They're not having fun.
exactly.
They're
I'm
getting
saying
controlled.
exactly, and they start telling me they stories with they labels and shit like that. And I was like, you know what? I would rather just do this shit by myself for real. Like that's not
Yeah.
even a thing I'm even thinking about right now.
Man, I'm broke, but I'm free.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
No, I really do believe that. But the best engineer is somebody who wants to keep growing because you can have an engineer that knows they're a good one, but the engineers are in like Discord chats. They're like talking to other engineers. They're trying to collaborate with only producers. And I think that shit is so cool. We used to run this event called BYOS, and it's called Bring Your Own Sound, and it's a producer-oriented event. And we would say, yo, this is an open mic for producers.
That's
So you come and you play your beats yeah, if you're a rapper or a singer, you can come and sing over it. But literally, we advertised it as a networking event for producers because most producers are the type to stay at home, sit, they don't want to talk to nobody. And I'm like, bro, if you actually want to get out there, you have to work with people. When I tell you that was the most introverted event, yo, nothing got popping until we turned the lights off.
Yeah. I mean, producers are like the unsung heroes of shit. 'Cause
You need them.
I've heard a lot of producers say that they're just like that. All producers are kind of like nerds.
They are.
They are 100%.
I don't mean that in a bad way at all. But like,
No, nine times out of 10 when I talk about nerds, I mean it in a good way. That make me think about it makes me think about like when I first started like recording and shit, I used to like think that I wanted to be like in the studio and like have like professional producers and engineers around me and shit. And then when I step back and I look at all the songs that are my favorite songs, they're like rough songs. You know what I'm saying? They not songs that was like in a huge ass studio. They sound super clean. Like my favorite songs are songs that sound dirty and gritty and shit. And like that's the shit I want to make for real. So like I would rather like build it up and just do me, because like a lot of people think that if your song don't sound to a certain quality, like it's not relevant, but like it definitely is. Like,
and
100%.
especially those listeners that you get, they're gonna be real. Yeah, they're not just gonna be anything that you put out and that people like you for. That's real.
Yeah,
if you're putting out something that's not, that's.
No, 100%.
And those fans are gonna rock with you for the long haul.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're
like
not gonna be fair weather.
Like I was thinking, like my favorite artists of all time, like the songs that I love the most by them, like no matter how big the artist is, like check this, this came to mind, like when I was a kid, like I love Lil Wayne and shit. But like my favorite Wayne songs I would play in my car and shit, it'd be like the 106 in Park freestyle, or it'd be like 10 West with him on Tim, like bullshit. I can't feel my face. Like them not the ones that he was in the major studio doing. Like them the ones that he did when he was in his hotel room. You feel me? And that's what I'm trying to do for you. I'm trying to, like you said, I'm trying to get that feeling to a motherfucker that was like me when I was a kid.
And it translates. I promise you, it translates.
Definitely. While we're kind of still on the subject of feelings coming from music, what it makes you feel hearing it from your favorite artist or whatever, it's came up multiple times when you're talking about kind of the overview of your music. You talk about loss and addiction. Both of those things come in two, 3, 4 different forms. What vein are you speaking in those in when you talk about those things?
What do you mean? Like
there's so many different forms of loss, so many different forms of addiction. You can be addicted to almost anything.
Right.
You could lose almost anything in this world. So when you make that music reflecting on your losses and your addictions, what are you kind of directing that towards?
Well, for addictions, I had a terrible addiction to cocaine. And it came out of a very abusive relationship that I was in. And I don't know how I did it. I don't know where I got the funds. Somewhere, but I was doing that shit every 30 minutes every day for 6 months, and my life was in the gutter. This was in like the height of COVID. I was living alone. I couldn't pay like my rent. I was literally dying. I was 90 pounds. I was finna die. And then I literally made the choice. I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I have so much to say, so much to do. I didn't have many friends. I didn't have a good support system. But I was like, I don't want my life to be like this. And I woke up one day, and I literally just went cold turkey. I was like, this isn't me. This isn't my life. I can change. And then in terms of loss, without getting too deep, I think for a woman, you can have something inside of you. Let's say, especially nowadays with women getting pregnant, like the right to have an abortion is needed, wanted. I've had an abortion before. That shit was traumatizing. I would not wish that on anybody, but I'm glad I had the choice. So the last time I got pregnant, I had a miscarriage. I didn't have a choice. That shit hurt. That shit, I felt like my body took something away from me. That I didn't agree with it. So when I talk about loss, and I have this song on my EP called Baby, and it's basically just like, I didn't even have the chance to say goodbye. Because even when I had an abortion, like, yeah, some people will look at that shit real light and be like, it's not a baby yet. Okay, I agree with you. Whatever helps you sleep at night, that's cool. But for me, like, this is a piece of my body, and at least I got the choice to make whether or not it stays there. Because at the end of the day, I should have the choice regardless. But there are some people struggling, like a new thing with this, like Roe versus Wade shit. Like, people are gonna have trouble doing like IVF treatments. Like they're not gonna be able to do that shit. So people who are already infertile, like having another baby through like either someone else is gonna be really hard. And they're not gonna have that option. And I think taking away that option for someone, and for me, it being out of my control and internally, like in the future, affecting how I might have a child down the line, that shit hurts. I'm adopted. Like, that shit, I want something of my own. But loss is really hard to deal with when it's inside of you.
Yeah. No, that's some real shit for real. Because like through this whole like Roe versus Wade shit, I've been like really trying to understand like the other side and see like what they talking about, and like past like some Bible shit, like past the God shit. And like what I've come to like realize is that like motherfuckers think that like people are treating abortions like you like it's not like you're not accepting the responsibility, or like you using it as a way just to have sex and just like do whatever you. But I'm like, yo, like that shit is that shit is fucking traumatizing, yo. Like, you've gone through enough that like you having to do that shit. Yeah, like you've been punished enough because you have to like go through this whole thing, ordeal or whatever. Like, I remember my mama was telling me one time, like I was grown when she was telling me, and she was like, I was supposed to have a baby after you for real. And I see it in her face, like she's still fucked up from that. I'm like, isn't that enough? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, there was supposed to be, like for me, there was supposed to be 2 kids before me, but my mom had to do it.
And that shit's hard though, because some people don't feel that, like that connection. It's just like another thing, and that's completely valid. Like, any person with a womb who has had to have an abortion, and they're like, yeah, man, it's just another treatment. I'm very glad that they can look at it that way. That is just not my experience.
Yeah, I mean, so like everyone's just not built the same, and the way they feel is the way they feel. So you can't ever take that away from somebody because that's just their feelings towards it. But I think a lot of people saying that they don't want to take responsibility is the complete opposite. Yeah. Because a lot of the times people abort a child is because they're making the most responsible decision. Like, we're not financially capable for this. We're not emotionally capable for this. This would be a very, very broken home for this child. Because so I went through it with a partner. And the fucked up thing is, and I think this was to teach a lesson, that the doctor doing the procedure was like, oh no, you can stay in the room and let me stay and watch. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. So I would never wish that process on anyone because I literally watched it happen. So I wasn't the human having it happen to them, which I could only imagine how that feels. But even visualizing it was scarring. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like, but it's also, at the end of the day, the biggest point of it is, regardless of how you feel, you need a choice. Taking a choice away from someone is the absolute last resort and should never be the resort.
Bro, I woke
People
up,
need choices. Yeah, we're losing choices day by day. Like, it's like at the end of the day, where are we going to be in 10 years? We can't. Things are just going to be force fed to us. You're just doing this. Here's your path. Follow that path. When you die, it's a wrap.
Bro, it's gonna be like Wally.
It's gonna be like Handmaid's Tale. Like, they bogus as hell. Like, I literally was like really trying to understand like what's going on in these niggas' minds for real. And like that's why I came. That's what I came to the conclusion of. Like, they think that people don't want to take responsibility for their actions.
That's my favorite movie.
But what I'm hopeful for is what you were saying earlier. Is as older people kind of age out, the younger generations have better ideas. They have better ideals, better values. So I think we're going to go through like a rough period for, 5-10 more years. But as our generations and younger come up, I think a lot of things will change for the better.
Man, I fucking hope so.
Because
man.
people are way more, younger people are so much more open-minded.
Yes.
And a lot of the shit you see is crazy, but if you, I
don't
like somehow
get
by
half of
default
it.
end up interacting with younger people because I go to the skate park and shit because I'm like a grown child. But some fucking
relatable.
some younger kids really have their head on their shoulders, and like
Yeah.
the way they think being 15, 16 is so much ahead of where I was thinking when I was 15 or 16.
Yeah.
So the future does have like glimpses of brightness. We just got to let this shit kind of play out a little
Yeah,
bit.
we gotta let these motherfuckers die for real.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel that. I
We
was
should
talking
just
to
euthanize all these old motherfuckers.
You're bogus as hell.
I was talking to this 10-year-old the other day, and there was like, I just need some space. I was like, excuse me.
No, for real, it's like that, yo.
Nah, I'm in your
said,
mix.
Bet. I was like, let me give you
The
that.
kids is like that for real. I was watching The Shy. And like one of the little girls on one of the high school girls on there, she was like in her bed, her daddy came, she was like, why you not at school? She's like, I need a mental health day.
For real,
And I was like, that's what they do in high school? I was like, that makes sense for real. Like, it might not be lamp for real. Like, they might need a really mental health day. I probably needed some of them bitches for real.
Needed them? Bro.
I need one tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Saturday's a huge mental health day for me, for real.
Yeah, to trash your mental health. You get punished on Saturday.
That's real.
Well, shit, so tell them about your show, Golden Dagger.
Oh, yeah, I got a show next week on the 14th at Golden Dagger. I think it's going to start about 8:45. Catchy's opening up for us. And then me and Fable are going to have a combined set. Basically, it's going to be the exact same setup as it is for the Silver Room, which is on the 17th on Sunday.
Where's the Silver Room?
It's in Hyde Park now.
Silver Room
They
is
used to
in
be
Hyde
in
Park.
Wicker too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but they closed that one down. But the block party is going to be in Oakwood Beach.
Okay.
So they can have a bigger crowd. But I'll be on with Fable at 2 p.m. That'll be a live set. It's literally, it's going to be awesome. If you think my EP is cold, like Fable's, it's called Green Room. That shit, you think I'll make you feel? This man literally said, I'm done making rap. I'm like,
I feel him. I'm in the same way for real.
I like that. We got enough people making rap.
bro.
Make some
Hell
other
yeah.
shit.
I mean, I might drop a tape soon. You know what I'm saying? I think the city needs that.
Hell yeah.
You and
then-
Jamal's tape would change the whole game. we can't get that. We can't get that. It's already hot enough. And you got the mesh shirt on.
Shut up, Kurt.
That's crazy. It's nice.
Well, definitely check SoSo out at Golden Dagger and Block Party.
Yeah. Stream her music online, Lullaby out.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod, Holt, is also performing at Block Party.
Shout
so
out.
check his shit out.
Shot Holt.
But yeah, we appreciate your time and you coming through. It was a very good conversation.